Hello everyone, thanks for tuning into today's third and final video. We're going to have a look at weather for 10 to 14 days for today's final video. Day 10 will take us to the 18th of November, and we'll be able to extend out beyond that with the extended GFS and ECM ensembles. Maybe around a couple of weeks. We'll have a look at CFS V2 for December at the end of the video. That will be, of course, quite interesting. So, all of that's to come. Just say about the first video today was our 6 AM UK weather forecast, and we've also released January Friday as well. Check out those two vids if you'd like to do that. Like, share, and subscribe on all of today's videos and content. Well, thank you so much, everybody, for doing that for GavsWeatherVids. Thank you so much, everyone. I think it'll be good to go for Pub Run Live at 10:30. I have got a busy evening potentially ahead of me creating analogues for the winter update that we're doing over the weekend. We're up to the 11th winter update now, I think. So, I might be quite busy. I haven't got any analogues done for this winter update yet, so I'm a bit late really getting the analogues together. Means I might have quite a busy evening ahead of me, and, I might not be able to stream at 10:30. But hopefully, I will be able to, and I'll let everybody know about 9:30 on the GavsWeatherVids socials whether we're going to be good to go for Pub Run Live this week. So, more about that later on. The GavsWeatherVids 2025 viewer photography calendar is continuing to sell. In fact, we've only got 2 left now. 2 calendars left. That is all. So if you want to get yourself a calendar, you need to get in immediately, really, because I think they're going to be sold out, very, very soon, maybe within the next few hours, or, certainly by the end of the weekend, I would imagine we'll have sold the final 2. So, if you want to get yourself a GavsWeatherVids calendar, all you need to do is go to the GavsWeatherVids PayPal page, sign into your PayPal account, and then send £12.50 to me, to GavsWeatherVids. That's £10 for the calendar, £2.50 postage and packaging. Send that to me, and then I will send the calendar out to you. And thank you so much, everybody who has been buying the calendars. We've basically sold 50. We had 2 batches of 25. We sold 50 calendars. So absolutely unbelievable. Absolutely incredible. Blown away by the response to the calendar. But it is an amazing project. Now, I said it would sell anywhere. If we put it in a shop, it would sell anywhere, because it's such a wonderful project created by James098 and all of the photos submitted by the GavsWeatherVids community. So it's a true community project, and thank you so much. Thank you so much to all of you for the way you've embraced this project. Incredible. Thank you so much, everyone. And just 2 calendars left. So if you want a calendar, you better get in quick, I think. Right, moving into the Atlantic and the Caribbean, Gulf of Mexico, etc. Got a yellow X just here. That is disturbance 1, with a 20% chance of cyclone formation in the next 2 and 7 days. We don't have to worry too much about that. But then we've got Hurricane Rafael here. Still giving maximum sustained winds of 120 miles per hour. Very powerful storm with a minimum set pressure of 956 millibars. Clicking on Rafael, I'm going to go there, don't we? We can see that this is going to just meander around, really, starting off as a major hurricane at the moment, and then becoming like a Category 2 hurricane in the next few hours. Into the early part of next week, it's gone down to a tropical storm status, and ends up down there by around next Wednesday, middle of next week, as a post-tropical depression. So just sort of meandering around in the middle of the Gulf of Mexico, not impacting anywhere directly, until it eventually dies a death around the middle of next week. Very powerful storm at the moment, though, so we confirm that it's currently giving maximum sustained winds of 120 miles per hour, going down to 110 in about 12 hours' time, and then 90, 75, 65, until it becomes a post-tropical feature by 120 hours. It'll be interesting to see how much this storm, Hurricane Rafael, Major Hurricane Rafael, has boosted ACE, accumulated cyclone energy, and we'll confirm that, of course, when we do the 11th winter update at the weekend. Going back to home, central temperature is currently sitting at 10.2. That's 3.8 degrees above 61 to 1990 average. It's provisional to yesterday to the 7th of November. Going to be an exceptionally mild start to November, of course. But it looks like got a bit of a cooling trend on the way. These are the GFS upper air temperature and precipitation ensembles next couple of weeks. Looking at Swansea today, the red line is the 30-year upper air temperature average for Swansea. Starting off above average with the upper air temperatures at the moment. They're going to gradually come down as we go into the second half of November. Might get a bit of a cold snap within there sometime through the third week of the month. There's quite a bit of scatter within that, but you see from the white line, which is the ensemble beam, that's going under the long-term average. So most of those ensemble members look like they're turning things at the very least cooler, if not colder, for a few days. So potential for a cold snap during the third week of November. And then maybe lifting up towards the end of the month. Of course, that's a very long way out. Precipitation-wise, could be a lot of dry weather to come over the next few days. Gradually start to turn a little bit more showery by the end of next week, but it's really the third week of November as we get this colder weather that's also looking a good deal more unsettled as well. So, of course, if it's cold enough, there's potential for a little bit of wintry weather. Let's have a look at Snow Row. So, not a lot to be seen, well, nothing to be seen over the next 10 days or so. Beyond that, though, a few snow spikes are showing up. Not many of them, very long way out. So, it'll be a case of watching space and see whether anything wintry occurs with that cold snap, potentially through the third week of the month. Temperature anomaly is going to be 8th-16th of November, just a little bit above average. The anomaly is starting to come down now, but we're still on the milder than average side. And the precipitation anomaly is going to be 8th-16th of November, remain significantly drier than normal. Related with a map from earth.northschool.net shows that we've got high pressure again to the east of the country. We're bringing the wind from like a southeasterly direction, so we remain under these very static and pretty gloomy, dank conditions. Oh dear, oh dear. Right, well, let's start going through chart data then. Let's have the latest UK Met Euro looking big night on Monday. High pressure still more or less in control, but there is a trough away to the north and the east. As that pushes through, it might clear away some of the gloomy conditions as well. So we might see sky becoming a little bit brighter, hopefully, by the start of next week. High pressure, though, is in control throughout the early part of next week. Gradually slips out to our west and allows a trough in to the east. That could bring some showery rain into eastern parts of the country. And then the high pressure eventually goes up to Scandinavia. We pull in an easterly by the end of next week. That gets us 15th of November. That's not a particularly cold easterly, but it will have a chill to it. There's the upper air temperature. So it'll bring potentially again quite a lot of cloud in from the east, I would have thought, and just quite a cold sort of feel and dampish sort of feel for southern and eastern parts of the country with that brisk easterly wind. Icon, again, that's if it comes off, of course. Icon, again, showing high pressure dominating through the early to middle part of next week. The high pressure sort of trying to get towards Scandinavia by the end of next week, but much more centred over the UK, really, and Ireland. Just a little bit of an easterly down in the south. So another week of anticyclonic weather with Icon, basically. The KMA, once again, showing high pressure in control throughout much of next week, certainly the early part of next week as well. Looks like as we get towards the middle part of November, so to the end of next week, high pressure still remaining in control and in the ascendancy. Eventually, the KMA is starting to turn things milder by the 20th of November from the southwest, from the southwesterly flow, turning milder, but also starting to turn more unsettled. There's a weather system coming in with that southwesterly bringing outbreaks of rain. So that is returning to a more typical type November setup. Still quite mild, but outbreaks of rain gradually coming in from off the Atlantic there with the KMA. By the end of it, GFS midnight run, in comparison, shows again high pressure well and truly dominating the weather throughout most of the coming week. Into day 10, we start to see the high pressure weakening enough to allow some low pressure to start digging in from the Atlantic. So that's turning more unsettled by day 10. And then we go flat and westerly, so milder and not much of a cold snap showing up here with the GFS midnight run. In fact, we start putting up like this southerly flow when we get through to the very extended range. So not a northerly, but a southerly with the GFS midnight run. That would be very mild, actually. Basically dry for eastern parts of the country. Could be wet times out in the west. The GFS 6Z, by comparison, again, bringing lots of high pressure throughout much of next week, high and dry. High pressure then around days 8, 9, 10, pulls out into the Atlantic. Down comes this colder northerly. So the 6 then, producing the cold snap from the north. Low pressure is sitting in the North Sea. High pressure ridging through the Atlantic, mid-Atlantic ridge. With a northerly, yes, we see a cold snap there by around day 10, 18th of November. It is only a cold snap. By the 20th of November, we start to bring milder air in around the top of the high again. So it's classic top plus scenario. And we eventually go into like an Atlantic-driven flow with wet and windy weather coming in from the Atlantic. We get rid of high pressure, though, and all the gloomy skies. We go into like a zonal westerly type pattern by the 24th of November. That's as far as we get to GFS today. Well, if you enjoyed the video, please like, share, and subscribe. Thanks so much everyone for doing that. Want to drop a comment and let us know what you think about this and all of our videos and content. Don't forget to tell your friends about GavsWeatherVids. Get them to subscribe to. So much everyone for doing that. We need to put on about 30 subscribers. Perhaps a little bit less than that. Could be 27, 28, something like that. To get ourselves to 19k. We are on the final push, final grind to 19k. So if you could give us a sub, that'd be absolutely awesome. And thank you so much, everyone, for doing that. Right, GM with high pressure again building in from the Atlantic through the early part of next week under a big area of high pressure, 1,040 millibars. High pressure carries on dominating throughout next week, but by the very end of the GM run, days 9 and 10, 17th, 18th November, it starts to turn more unsettled. So definite signs of a pattern change here. What the pattern change is to remains to be seen. It might be to like just a wetter pattern and still relatively mild. It might be to that cold northerly plunge. That's still within some of the model output as well. But it does look as though the pattern is on the change here by the sort of day 7, 8, 9 and 10 time frame. But GM actually finishing up very unsettled with low pressure dominating, and colder air is coming down from the north as well there with the GM, so we could expect the rain to begin to turn to snow up in the north. Then finally for the chart data, ECM looking like that again, high pressure dominating weather throughout the early part of next week. By mid next week, high pressure's out to the northwest, to the northeast with a trough over Germany and the Low Countries. Brings in the northeasterly flow that could bring showery rain into the southeast. Throughout the last stages of next week, a nice ridge from the Atlantic into Europe, bringing a lot of dry weather with it. And then we get to about day 9 and 10, and we go into a northerly with the ECM. So the ECM also producing a significant northerly plunge. If you follow the ice bars back, the air is originating actually from a long way north, from an Arctic source, plunging southwards through the western portion of Europe. So much colder there, obviously, with the ECM about day 9, 10, 17th, 18th of November, with a proper cold snap. This is the precipitation forecast based on that ECM run from Precipitation.com. Lots of dry weather to come over the next few days, but there will be some showery bursts here and there. Through the early part of next week, we actually bring some wetter weather into eastern regions as low pressure is in the North Sea. That's about Tuesday, I think. I'm not sure about that, but it is one to keep an eye on. There might be some wet weather for the east through the early part of next week. Then we go drier again as a high pressure takes over, and then we go into those northerly winds around days 9 and 10, with showers turning increasingly to snow, even to low levels across northern parts of the country and around those western and eastern coasts too. Definite cold snap there with a little bit of winteriness included. These are the options on the table within the ECM ensembles today for day 10 from the Icelandic Met Office. Gets us to the 18th of November. 14 members of the ECM ensembles with high pressure in the Atlantic, mid-Atlantic ridge going towards Greenland, low pressure over Scandinavia, winds coming in from a chilly or quite cold northwesterly northerly direction. We've got another 14, climate control and the operational run with deeper low pressure to the east, high pressure blocking out in the Atlantic, winds coming in from a cold northerly blast there. We've got 10 with low pressure over top of the coast. Just quite a cold low, though, with this ridge out in the Atlantic. That's sending colder air into the area of low pressure. We've got 7 with a mid-Atlantic ridge. Low pressure's further away from us, but still going to be quite chilly with that. Winds coming in from the northwest. And then we've got 6 with high pressure in the North Atlantic up towards Greenland and Iceland, and around that we bring the wind in from an easterly direction. That can be quite chilly as well, but will potentially be relatively dry-ish, I guess. I mean, 2 weeks' time, these are the options that we've got. Gets us 23rd of November. 17 members of the ECM ensemble still with high pressure in the Atlantic going up towards Greenland. Low pressure is to the east, and winds are coming in from a cold northerly direction. So again, that could be quite cold and wintry. We've got 13, again, with high pressure right over top of the country. Mostly dry, could be a little bit chilly. 12 with mid-Atlantic ridge heading up towards Greenland. Trough over Scandinavia, winds coming in from a northwesterly direction. So a little bit of a cool and showery side there. And then 9 with low pressure over and to the east of the country. High pressure towards the Canadian side of Greenland. That could be starting, it's from a cold situation, but that could be starting to turn a little bit milder as winds will be beginning to shift round to more of a westerly Atlantic flow as a high pressure is locating towards the Canadian side of Greenland. 9 going for that. Looks like there could be cold snap at some point, though, through the 3rd week of November, 3rd week of the month. It's well worth keeping an eye on it. It's probably only going to last a couple of days, 2 or 3 days, but it could be quite, quite a potent little cold snap we've got coming up here. We'll see. Okay, well, CFS V2 finally for December. This is the latest 700 millibar height on the idea. Remember, these charts change daily. Today's idea is for low pressure to be to the north, high pressure over and to the south, and winds coming up from a mild southwesterly direction. Therefore, we see the temperature anomaly for December predicted to be significantly above average. And precipitation anomaly is not much of a signal, but it's drier than average to our south, wetter than average to the north, and we're somewhere in between. So a disappointing December for anybody who wants a cold start to winter. But we shall see how it all works out. Time will tell. Okay, we're done. If you enjoyed the video, please like, share, and subscribe. Make sure everyone for doing that. Drop a comment, let's know what you think about this and all of our videos and content. Don't forget to tell your friends about GavsWeatherVids. Get them to subscribe to. Thanks so much, everybody, for doing that. So, as I say, we need to put on about 28 subscribers to get ourselves to 19k. We're so close now to 19k. It's absolutely unbelievable. Thanks so much, everybody. I may be live with Pub Run at 10:30. I'll confirm that on the socials later this evening. It depends how much work I have to do on the winter update. And then over the weekend, we've got 6 UK weather forecast. We have got weekend forecast. We've got the ECM 42-day forecast for UK and Ireland. And there'll be a 10 to 14 day as well. That's all to come tomorrow on Sunday. Again, we've got 6 UK weather forecast. And we will... Also, if that wasn't enough, have the 11th winter update. Absolutely epic content on Sunday with the 11th winter update. And we will be live either at 6 p.m. or 5:30. I'll confirm that over the weekend with the Sunday live stream. So we'll discuss the winter update. We shall do a 10 to 14 day update as well within the live stream, and there'll be long range included. So loads and loads to look forward to over the weekend. You keep checking back to the channel for more. Have a fantastic weekend, and we'll see you with some of our content, I'm quite sure. For this one, though, that's all for now, and thanks for watching.